Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope that your Tuesday is going well so far. Obviously, if you guys have been following my channel for the past year plus, you guys would probably have expected to see at least one, usually two videos by this point in the day, in any day. But I decided that, you know, I today it just felt a little bit weird. And the reason why it felt a little bit weird was because, of course, of the news that kind of shook the football world yesterday with the Damar Hamilton situation. And I thought it would just be, I don't know, it would be kind of weird if I were to post a video talking about just normal football stuff, talking about, Seahawks rookies and stuff before we learned exactly what was going on here. And we still don't know exactly what's going on. We're not getting a ton of information, but I want to I want to take one video to talk about this, the Damar Hamilton situation, because I'm sure everybody watching this video knows, but last night there was a big, exciting, intriguing looking football game going on. It had just started 10 minutes in, not even. A player apparently had cardiac arrest, basically a heart attack, on the middle of the field. After a relatively routine tackle, he gets up and goes right back down. And it was, it's unlike pretty much anything that I've seen before in sports. It was definitely scary. I was kind of watching the game in the background while doing other stuff. At first, I thought it was, initially my first reaction was, oh, okay. You saw the cart come out, you saw the players huddled up, and unfortunately, we're kind of used to seeing things like that in the NFL, but it quickly became clear that it was not normal. They administered CPR for like 8 or 9 minutes, and then they took him off. They gave him oxygen. Yeah, it was scary, and it was a very weird night in the NFL, I think. And for it to happen on a play like that, where it's just a tackle, and when you see the kind of tackles, the kinds of contact that you see probably dozens of times a week that look far worse than what happened on that tackle last night. And then that's the play that actually causes somebody to, um, I don't want to say it because we don't know yet, somebody to be pushed closer to death than I think. I'll leave it at that. To be pushed closer to death on the football field than anybody I think I've ever seen. Obviously we see players get paralyzed on the football field sometimes. We see players, shatter bones. We see players get very serious injuries that end up affecting the rest of their life, force them to retire. We see that sometimes. Last night when I was streaming, we were talking about like the Johnny Knox injury. That's one of the most infamous ones from about, what was that now, 12 years ago. So we see really bad injuries, but it's very rare that we feel like the person might actually be, dead on the field. And that's really what it felt like for a lot of last night. Seeing a game get delayed, seeing a game then get canceled because of an injury, seeing the players reacting the way that they were. I haven't seen anything like that before in sports. I know that players have actually died on the field before in football, but well before my time. This is like the Dick Butkus days. I know there was I think a hockey player who died on the ice rink back in the 90s, I want to say. WWE, there have been people who died in the ring, but yeah, that was a new one for me. And obviously, the guy remains in critical condition. Damar Hamlin, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying Hamilton. Said that more than once today, but yeah, Damar Hamlin, he's still alive, but I still kind of feel like we're in a little bit of a limbo here. We haven't gotten a significant news update since, I'd say, feels like it's been, man, feels like it's been about 15 hours since we've learned anything new. So we still kind of don't know. And it feels like the impact of what I saw last night was, it felt like watching somebody die on the football field. When you see the replay and you see the way in which he goes down, the nature of it, you see how long they spent trying to revive him on the field, and you hear about how they had to intubate him and how long his brain may have been with oxygen, it kind of feels like that, even though for the moment that's not the case. And, I was kind of scared last night. I was scared that I was going to wake up in the morning and check my phone and I was going to get an alert that Damar Hamlin has passed away in the hospital. But it hasn't happened yet, and hopefully it doesn't. And my prayers are with him because, he's a young guy, very young player, new to this league, was doing some really good things off the field as well. Of course, we all know about his toy drive, which has become a really cool story now. The Damar Hamlin toy drive, which had raised a couple $1,000s, I think, over the course of 2 years, had suddenly blown up to, I think it was like $4 million in a matter of hours, which is obviously really cool. But I guess that goes to show that, there are cool people out there. There are some really cool people out there, even when things like this happen. So I was definitely a little bit affected by what I saw last night, but it just didn't feel right to make general Seahawks or NFL content right now. I actually had a video planned to go up this morning talking more about the NFL scheduling and how the NFL messed up. And then last night you hear about how the NFL tried to get both teams to go back out and play after a 5-minute break or whatever. And that seems like a much bigger screw up, and it just feels like, I don't need to talk about this right now. There's bigger things going on right now, and this is something that I occasionally do talk about on this channel, remembering to think about these players as people as well. And I think that's true on multiple levels. Sometimes, even with the, something that seems more benign, like the vitriol that some people go after Russell Wilson this year because he's having such a bad year and everything's going wrong. And sometimes I feel like it goes to a place where, like, remember, that's a guy, and he's not doing anything bad. He's not doing anything evil. He's just doing what he can do the best that he can and acting in his own best interest. And sometimes it seems a little weird and goofy, but I think some people, maybe probably go a little too far with that. Remember, he is a guy. He is a person. And then you have an incident like last night where it becomes far more severe than even that, where it's like, wow, somebody almost died. A guy who had just started playing in the NFL last season, excuse me. We almost saw him die on the football field, and in a manner of speaking, depending on what happens in the next few days, that may still end up being kind of the case. So, yeah. After this video, I will obviously continue on. Later tonight, I will be doing my Hawk's Nest stream with Brandon of the Hawk's Nest. But there might not be any other videos on this channel other than that one. I have a scheduling commitment with him. I want to make sure we do that stream. We have things we need to talk about. But this might be the only video that goes up on my YouTube channel for the day. Just, that seems appropriate. Honestly, there are some things that are kind of in limbo right now that we need to learn before I can even say that much about other football-related things today. Because the game being postponed and canceled and whatever has had a domino effect on the rest of the league, and we kind of need to wait to see what the league does. The league's already said, we're not going to make them continue the game later this week, but we're also not going to reschedule anything in Week 18. Okay, then what happens with this game? So there won't be a lot of the things that I would have been talking about. We cannot talk about until we know how the NFL is going to handle this situation. So, yeah, there's probably not going to be another Seahawks video today. The videos I had planned for today I'll bump to tomorrow. So just be aware. And keep thinking about this guy. Keep thinking about this guy. Believe in the power of positive thinking. I've been trying to do that as well. Every moment that goes by after that injury where he is still alive is obviously getting further and further away from the incident, making it more and more likely he gets through this, I think. Because, again, I had a bad feeling this morning, but now that we're past that, I'm starting to have a little bit of a better feeling about it. But, yeah, just scary, and I hope he's okay. I hope that he gets to wake up and see what happened with his toy drive, how it completely blew up overnight. I hope that he wakes up and gets to see that. I hope he wakes up and gets to see his team go on and win the Super Bowl this year, maybe, you know? So, yeah. It's a opportunity, I guess, for people to remember that that these guys are risking a lot by going out there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's very rare that something like this happens. We see tackles like that a million times every season, and they never end like that. So it just goes to show that it can still happen. So yeah, that's probably going to be my one video for the day. I will stream tonight with Brandon, but yeah, I wanted to go ahead and kind of not really talk about little football things and complain about the NFL scheduling. It seems kind of insignificant right now in comparison. One thing I want to say real quick before I end this video, and I hate that I have to talk about this, but I do. Making money off of a tragedy is considered to be in poor taste, and the reason why it's considered that is because it is. Typically speaking, I remember back in the old days of YouTube, you would have these YouTubers who would make videos about things like the tsunami in Japan or Steve Jobs dying, and they would be really sad and upset, and maybe they'd even try to promote some cause to help the affected people, but they would monetize the video and put ads on it. And those people would get rightfully kind of put through the ringer for that, because that's basically profiting off of human tragedy. If you see advertisements on this video, I don't know if you will, but if you do, it's not from me. I'm not going to be monetizing this video. If you see any ads, it's because YouTube in recent, I think this last year, has started putting ads on some videos that do not get monetized by the creator. So if you see ads, just know that I didn't monetize the video. And I hate that I have to talk about it, but I know that if somebody clicks on this video about Damar Hamlin and sees ads, it's not going to look good. Just understand that it's not coming from me. It's coming from YouTube. So I just had to address that real quick just in case, because that would be awful. That would be terrible if I actually monetized this video and tried to make money getting, these clicks off of somebody almost dying on the football field. But yeah. So I'll be thinking about this for the rest of the day. I sometimes I just get affected by things like this in ways that I didn't expect. I remember when Sean Taylor died, that actually had a very... I remember being really upset when Sean Taylor died. That one hurt. This one isn't quite like that, but it made me think about that. So, yeah. Not a good day right now, but we'll see what comes of it. Tomorrow, I'll move on to start talking about the NFL stuff again. And we'll move along, but I had to do this one video just kind of going through this because it's a big deal, and it's really shocking to see, and we definitely have to take this opportunity to at least, think about things in a slightly different way. There are more important things sometimes. All right. See you guys later. Prayers up to Damar Hamlin, and we'll see where things go from here.